Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. I got a really big one here from Global News in Canada. Now, this is going to be affecting a lot of people, so you better sit back and enjoy this one. It is 2 days old. I'm behind on some stories, guys, so I'll be catching up today. BC condo owners brace for a sticker shock as insurance rates surge 50 to 300%. I used to have a friend named Serge. So I would surge or surge. So, anyways, Sergio. Anyways, so BC condo owners brace for sticker shock that insurance rates surge 50 to 300%. Wow. So let's get to the bottom of this and find out. So I've been tipped off by somebody that told me that a lot of those empty condo units, investment owned, a lot of them refuse to get insurance on them, even though they required by Strata to get insurance. But a lot of them refuse to get insurance on their properties. So insurance companies are taking, I guess, a hit or a loss. So I don't know what the article, let's take a look at this together for the first time. BC condo owners are bracing for a sticker shock amid surging insurance rates for their homes. Rates are increasing for people in policies now anywhere from 50 to 300%. And deductibles are going from a conventional $10,000 or $25,000 to $100,000 to $250,000 or $500,000, said Tony G., Executive Director of Condominium Homeowners Association. The reasons for the surging rates are multiple, but one of the factors is the sky-high value of BC properties. So properties need to be covered because, you know, you take an insurance, you take a mortgage out. Most of this stuff is all mortgaged. It's all heavy leveraged. So a lot of people, you know, it's, you know, you start seeing these trends where fires start happening in places where they normally don't happen, but they're happening in places. And why? Well, people want to cash out on the insurance or can't no longer make payments. And that is a phenomenon that happens all the time when people, instead of defaulting on mortgages, something mysteriously happens, right? Mr. G said that the case of devastating fire claims for large strata building can massive. Okay, so it kind of took the words right out of my mouth. To ensure full risk for one building, the building may have $100 or $200 million value to it. That's an enormous risk for a single insurer, he said. Okay, so there's one insurance company, right, or an insurance company that has to basically cover X amount of properties, right? And if there are people starting to default and saying, well, my contents insurance or something will cover something, people start thinking outside the box, and that becomes dangerous, and I do not. Guys, get financial help if you need it, okay? As a result, the number of insurers willing to take on policies for BC condos is shrinking. So insurance companies willing to take on these policies through Strata or whatever independent independent insurers, they're not going to take the risk anymore, you know what I'm saying? Particularly if the building has made up multiple claims or has not kept up with the maintenance. Yeah, so if maintenance starts to lack, guess what happens? People, things start to go into the red, and it becomes more of either a fire hazard, a risk hazard, a crumbling to the ground hazard. You got to watch out, right? A lot of these places, if they're not maintained, look at those ghost cities in China with these condos falling apart around, like just pieces of the outside of atriums and outside ledging falling out and cracking on the floor. Yes. Paul M., BFL Canada Insurance Services Inc. said the growth cost of insurance isn't just about a BC issue. There are three main factors to global catastrophes: increasing claims, cost for the segment, and earthquake risk profile, British Columbia, he said. One could say climate change affects those global catastrophes, so one could say that the effects of the insurance premiums that the insurance companies pay. Devastating natural disasters such as wildfires in California or hurricanes on the East Coast, while far away, are making their impact felt here in BC. Yeah, so global warming is, of course, global warming is going to find a way to seep in and take everything you have. Global warming is going to find a way to become part of our day-to-day lives, even though global warming does Does global warming exist? Probably exist, right? Global warming exists because the weather does change, right? So weather does change, and I'm not going to argue that weather changes. I'm not going to argue that there's climate change, but I'm going to argue that out of how much of it is man-made, I'm not sure. We're not going to get into the whole global warming discussion here today. We'll have a debate on the channel to get a few people on to discuss this. All right. Okay, so with growth disaster related payouts, that's affecting the global reinsurance markets. Market explained. So people are just not making enough money to live. And it's going to be already hard enough with the increase in insurance prices, right? So disaster payouts are growing. According to these guys, disaster payouts are growing. The reinsurance rates that insurance companies purchase increase, and that is trickle-down effect on the consumers, he said. With rates climbing, Mr. G said that the incumbent on would-be homebuyers to look into the insurance situation with any property they're interested in. So guys, now, not only do you have to do an inspection on the property, heck, you don't do an inspection on the property because everyone's bidding on the property. So there's nobody giving in offers because everyone's over asking for what, you see what I'm saying? So how do you put in a bid? So you got to put in a bid for the insurance, you got to put in a bid for the house to see if you could win it in this blind lottery without doing inspections. Then you got to put a bid on in everything. So it's like you got to put a bid on the best mortgage broker, a bid on the best real estate agent. Now, instead of just calling an insurance company, hey, I just bought a house, can you have it insured for the first? No, well, it's going to cost you this much. Again, real estate is only going to be for the elite rich. Working poor, middle class is finished. The working poor is done. The middle class that built and created the infrastructure for these countries are done. We're seeing it in Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, and, of course, in Canada. It's done. It's over. Hasta la vista. Why? A country like Canada has only so many limited cities they can move to, and then we're done. We're already completely bought out from coast to coast, and then now it's a waiting game or a playing game. Is it going to crash? Are we going to go into stagnation? If we go into stagnation, would it be like Japan where prices just kind of move around for like 30, 20 years? And if it does, what happens to the Canadian proper when they can't get into the housing market? Because in Japan, luckily, there's a stagnation crisis, but luckily, the homes are in and around 100 to 150,000 US. So it's still obtainable, where the average house in Canada is still a bench. Well, in the major cities, you're looking at 800,000 US to get a house, to $1.2 to $2.2 million to get a tear-down bungalow. So that's the problem here. Canadian proper is finished. So is the Australian proper, UK proper, and New Zealand proper. Anyways, get back on topic here. So anyone now purchasing a condo and into any strata corporation in BC, one of the documents you want to request is a copy of the insurance policy, he said. Guys, pay attention to what I just said, please. You want a copy of the insurance company insurance policy. It is crucial to find out exactly what is going on, what people are paying out, and what people expected to pay, and what. So usually they have a graph that shows potential increases depending on claims. So if there's too many claims or leaking and this and that, and the insurance starts covering some of this stuff, yeah, you're insured for it, but how much are you going to pay later in the long run? Look at what the renewal date is, look at what the values are, the deductibles, and what the rate is. And if coming up to renewal, you might want to wait a bit. So not only do you have to wait till the insurance renewal comes up, because these sticker shocks, 300 to 50, even 50% increase is going to do a damaging effect on the local working population. The working population is doomed in the big cities. And that's why I've been saying, guys, I've been saying this for years. I left the big city 3 years ago. And you know what? I don't regret it one bit. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Guys, don't forget to follow me I'm on many other platforms. I'm not sure what's going to happen in 10 days to YouTube. So I am not going to sweat it because I already have other channels growing. At the top of my channel here on the right, there's a tip jar if you want to send a tip. If you want to pay a Patreon supporter, if you want, join and donate $1 a month. I'm on BitChute. Okay, I'll show you what it looks like. Here I am on BitChute. There it is, Mike in the Night. And from Saturday night. Sorry, guys, I'm out to lunch this morning. And then I am also here on Brighton. If you want to get on Brighton's amazing. All the channels you used to watch are on here. And I'm also on, if you click here, I am also on BitTubers. BitTubers is the most successful one. I get the most views on it. But they're all successful. They're all going to be successful once you see the hacking of... You see, I only have 13 subscribers on BitTubers, but my videos are getting over 50 to 100 views. And on YouTube, I need at least 1,000 subscribers to get a 50 to 100 views. So what does that try and tell you guys? It's telling you guys a lot. Insurance rates, guys. Sticker shock. Comment below. Let me know. Find me on other platforms before it's too late. And let me know. And your other fellow channels, they're all going to be gone if the axe drops on YouTube's end. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Thanks for watching.